Haven't guessed, today is all about green beans. We're doing it all in one clip. Hello everybody, and welcome to my bubble. My name is Katie. You haven't guessed, today is all about green beans. We're doing it all in one clip. So we're doing pressure canning for regular green beans. We're going to do some hot water bath canning for our pickled green beans. And I'm going to show you our favorite green bean dish, soy sauce green beans. So let's just get right into it. The first thing we're going to start with is our pickled green beans, because the water bath canning does not take near as long as pressure canning. So what you're going to need about 3.5 pounds of green beans, and you want to keep them long. You want to keep them long so that they go into your jars well. Now, I put my jars in the dishwasher to heat and sterilize them. So I'm going to be pulling them out of the dishwasher as we go so they stay nice and warm. Our beans are also in warm water. But the first thing we need to do is make our brine. Our brine is 2.5 cups of vinegar and 2.5 cups of water. We'll get that going right now. The brine needs to come to a boil. Now we're going to add our water. Need another 1/2 cup. We'll get this on the stove till it starts boiling. In the meantime, we're going to go on and put water in our hot water bath. This is my hot water bath canner. You do not have to have a specific canner. You can use just a regular pot that you would cook with. Just it needs to be tall enough that you can put a lid on it, and preferably need some kind of rack to keep your jars off of the bottom of the pan. What we're going to do is we're going to put in around 4 or 5 inches of water in the pot. For the hot water bath canning, you do want to make sure that the water goes over the lid of the jar by about 1/2 inch. And you can judge this by eye or around 1 inch, or the first digit on your thumb is about 1 inch, if that helps. We're going to go on and get started filling our jars while our canning water is starting to boil, and then our vinegar solution is starting to boil as well. We are going to add a little seasoning to these. So we're going to add 1/2 an onion to the bottom, a clove of garlic, and we're going to add our beans, as many as we can get in there. But first thing we need to do, these are a little tall. Grab a knife. We're going to make sure that our beans will fit. That's still a little tall because of our onion. Now, I do kind of turn my jar on the side, just makes it easier to fill. I don't normally work with whole beans like this, only for this pickling, because to be honest, they're more of a pain this way. It's hard to get them in the jar, hard to get them the right height, but it is worth it when you eat them. Just makes it a little easier. Something else I have done is I have filled another jar that has a gasket. And this jar will go straight into the refrigerator. Now, we will not open it for a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But that way, we've got some ready to go, and I don't have to open the ones that are for this winter. Now, this isn't the only time that I will do this. This is the first full batch of beans that I have gotten out of the garden so far this year. Kentucky is very fortunate. We do have a decent growing period. We are between 170 and 210 frost-free days. So if I wanted to, our green bean patch it's not great big. There's only 2 of us. My husband and I are empty nesters. Our daughter has just recently moved out for now. She can always come back if she wants, and at that point, I only had 1 child, so we didn't need a field of green beans. So what we have, it suits our needs, and if I choose, I can grow more. Now that these are getting to where I can pick them, now would be about the time that I would plant more seed if I wanted to get fall beans. All of our ends, I am going to go ahead and just put some in a jar. Why not? But don't forget, we are pressure canning beans as well. I have already taken the liberty of snapping them. You do not need to watch me snap beans. I do it in the evening while my husband and I are watching TV. He normally helps me. Okay, so what few beans that are left over will just go in for our pressure canning beans, which are actually sitting in the sink in hot water. So now we're going to clean up just a tad. Let's move that. And we're going to go ahead and put our other ingredients in our jars, which we are doing a teaspoon of each. So I have the bigger Celtic sea salt. The granules are not as fine, so they will not break down quite as quickly. And we're just going to dump them right on top. We are also going to do a teaspoon of dill seed. Oh. Let's see. Wow, it smells dilly. Imagine that. And because we like things spicy, we're going to do half a teaspoon or so of some red chili flakes. I have found that just regular red chili flakes that you get from the store, they don't quite pack as much punch as we would like. I have found that they are better. It seems to open up more if cooked, or in this instance, it has time to distribute the heat. Now we're going to fill with brine. We are filling up until about 3/4 of the way, which is right at that lower mark. Oh, making a mess, making a mess. Okay. So I ran out of brine, so I made some more real quick. Finish filling these up. Whew. That vinegar, it hurts my eyes a little bit. Maybe I should have worn goggles. Oh, shoo. Okay, now we need to do the same thing that we would do, excuse me, if we're using the pressure canner, and that is to get all of our air bubbles out of our jars. Not so much with the refrigerator one. We're not worried about the air bubbles in it. We are going to latch it. We're going to put it in the refrigerator. That's lovely. All right, we're going to get all the air bubbles out. My eye is still burning. It'll be worth it though. They'll be delicious. Okay. We want to wipe our rims off. We don't want any water on the rim of our jar, because that could cause, or on our lid for that matter. This one got splashed on a little bit, because it can cause for you not to get a good seal. And that is just horribly frustrating. Finger tight on the lid, not too tight. Now, for these pickled green beans, we do not have to pressure can them, because we have increased the acid in them tremendously with the vinegar. So that's why it is okay to water bath. Normally canning green beans, you do really want to pressure can them because it can cause botulism if all the bad bacteria isn't taken care of in the canning process. For those of you that don't know, botulism is caused by toxins, and it affects the nervous system in the body. Some of the symptoms of botulism are you have a hard time swallowing or speaking, or you can even get like face paralysis where, you know, your face won't move very well. But the big thing about botulism is it is deadly if you do not realize and it is not treated within enough time. It can kill you. Your green beans could kill you. That just amazes me. All right, we're going to get these in our canner. We don't have enough water in our canner, so I do need to add hot water to this. Now, we want this to come to a boil. Like I said, we want about a ½ inch. You want a ½ inch to an inch of water over top of the lid of your jar. And we're only doing around a ½ inch because these only need to hot water bath for around 10 minutes. So that's not quite long enough for it to all evaporate. If you need to cook something longer, then you would need a little more water on top of them. So now we're going to, once this comes to a boil, we're going to cover it. Okay, so we are actually starting to boil. I'm going to go on and cover this up. Turn our heat down to medium high, just a little bit. It's around 7 on my stove. We're going to give them 10 minutes and then we're going to move them off the burner and get our pressure canning going. Unfortunately, my stove is not big enough to accommodate the hot water bath canner and the pressure canner. So we're going to wait until this one is done, around 10 minutes, move it off, and then we're going to get the pressure canner going. We've been about 10 minutes. We're going to go on and pull our water bath off of the oven and get our other beans going. Now, we already have 2 to 3 inches of water in our pressure canner, and we're going to start jarring up our beans. Now, I have nice clean hands. But this is the easiest way I know how to do this. Get our pickle packer out. Now, we want to fill the jars about 3/4 of the way full. Did we turn our water back on? No, we didn't. There we go. It won't heat up if you don't turn it on, right? I believe my canner holds 7 jars. We are doing pints because normally it's just my husband and I. And a pint is perfect for just the two of us. Now, when we do pressure can, your pints are going to stay in the canner for 20 minutes, whereas if you were doing quarts, they would stay in for 25 minutes. 6. I do usually make some quarts. I do like to give some away. And then if my daughter's here and we have beans, we do open a quart jar. So now our jars are full. We're going to get our hot water to pour on top. So here I probably go making a mess again. Now, we want these filled to the same level, 1/2 inch of headspace or 3/4 of the way full on the jar, just to the bottom line. At least all this mess is just water. Easy to clean up. Okay. There's one that was a little too full. Okay, so that's pretty good. Hold on. Now, same thing. We're going to take our trusty chopstick and we're going to just move them around, getting all those bubbles out. Okay. Now, wipe our tops off. Just finger tight into the pan or pot. Tell you what, there is no better feeling than eating the food you grew yourself. For one, it tastes a whole lot better. But for two, there's just this wonderful satisfaction about it. I'm not saying you have to have a great big garden. Put a tomato plant in a pot on your porch. And I'll tell you what, if you've never done that, that'll be the best tomato you've ever eaten. Is the one you grew yourself. I actually having a bit of a problem in the garden right now. I went out this morning to water and found that my edamame and the tops of some of my beets were missing. We apparently have a rabbit that has figured out how to get in. So every couple of years, I do have to kind of fix the fence. Just because it's not the best fence, and we redo it and take care of the weeds around it, and so every couple of years. Now, I do have room for one more, so 8, probably 7 quarts. I don't know if you all watched any of my last videos. I have actually found where you can get one of these. There's a couple of different places. They call them a couple of different things. I think the one I posted in one of my last videos, they called it a sauerkraut smasher. But I will put it in the description below again. Uh-oh. I don't have a lid. Just a moment. Green beans are good for you, of course. They have vitamin A, C, and K. They also have folate in them, which is a B vitamin that helps with prenatal health and helps that baby develop, as well as strawberries, which we went over in the strawberry video. They are heart healthy. They are low in carbs, low in calories. Green beans are just wonderful, and they are so extremely versatile. You can eat them raw. You can eat them cooked. You can pickle them. They can be added to soups and stews to help add extra vitamins in bulk. You can saute them. You can cook them in the oven. You can put them on the grill. I love green beans. They are one of my favorite vegetables. Now we're going to put our last jar in our pressure canner. And if you notice, we don't have water over top of the lids. Now, in the pressure canner, you do not want to totally fill your pressure canner with water. I have made this mistake twice now in my 15 years of canning. Sometimes I just forget. But the problem is if you put too much water in them, you will not get a decent seal, and you can actually damage the seal in your lid. The lid for a pressure canner has a rubber seal in it, and it also, a lot of them have a rubber stopper, and this is to help so that you don't blow up your pressure canner all over the oven. There is a certain way that the lid goes on. Mine has an arrow on here. I'm not going to even try and show it to you because I can barely see it. Now, we're going to turn to lock it. Now, it will start building up the pressure, and hopefully we will see a little steam come out of the top. That's when we want to add our weight. Here in central Kentucky, because of our elevation to sea level, we have a 10-pound weight. I also have a 5-pound weight as well, but I don't ever need it, so I don't know where it is. But now we're playing the waiting game, and we're going to wait until this starts steaming, and then we'll put our weight on. It actually doesn't take that long. So now our pressure canner is actually starting to steam. It bubbled up a little bit. I don't know if you saw that. So we're going to put our weight on. And then what we have to do is we have to wait for this plug to pop up. Which you can see it's trying to pop up now. Now, sometimes a little steam comes out of this and it will puddle. I do take a towel to it just to soak up the water. I do not want the water running off onto my stove because I have a glass top stove. and if the water gets trapped under my pot, it could crack my stove. There we go. We are all popped up and ready to go. And now we wait until our weight starts jiggling, and then we're going to turn our heat down to about medium high, around 6 on my stove. That way our water stays boiling, but it's not boiling so much that there could potentially be a problem. So while we're waiting on the pressure canner to build up pressure, I thought we could pull our pickled green beans out. They look great. You can see the onion and stuff in the bottom. Fantastic. Yeah, they look really good. And one has already sealed. 2, 3. Okay, our weight is starting to make noise at this point. So this is when we want to turn the stove down to about 6 or medium high. And then we want to start our timer for 20 minutes. It is 3:05. So now our time is up. It's 3:25, so it's been 20 minutes. We're going to turn our heat off, and then we're going to move our pot off of the burner so that it can cool faster. Our goal is to wait until this little pressure valve goes down, and that tells us that the pressure has gone down in the entire pot, and then we can take off the lid and remove our jars. It generally takes around 30 minutes for our little pressure valve to go down, and so that all the pressure is gone inside of the pot. I usually wait 40 to 45 minutes, even up to an hour, just to make sure. The pressure has gone down now. Our little pressure valve is lowered, and so we're going to pull our weight off, and we're going to open it up. Now remember, when opening, this is still very hot. There still may be steam inside, and so we want to open it away from our face. Great. There we go. That looks good. So now we're going to get all these out of the water, and then we're going to do our soy sauce green beans. They only take a few minutes to cook. I think you're going to like them. Now to cook our soy sauce green beans, you're going to want about the biggest skillet that you have. This is the largest skillet I have besides a cast iron, but this one's higher on the sides, and that's what I want. So we're going to turn our heat up to medium high, or a little higher than medium high. It's about 7 on my stove. We're going to start with a little bit of olive oil. That's probably about a tablespoon. And we're going to do a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. And then, just because we like it, we have this hot chili oil. I've got a little bit left. We're going to go on and add some of that as well. Now, while our oils are heating up, we're going to go on and crush a little garlic in there. You can also use the garlic that's in the jar. My daughter has dubbed that jarlic. And then we're just going to wait on our oil to heat up a little bit and go on and cook our garlic some. Now that our garlic has started to cook a little bit, let's just distribute that oil a little better. And then what we're going to do is, all of our green beans have had the stem end plucked off of them because we don't want to eat that, of course. We're going to throw in as much as you all want to eat. I'll do. And then we're going to give a nice, healthy dose of the soy sauce and give everything a stir so that everything gets coated in our oil. You can add more green beans to this, to the amount of oil that I added. But we did actually cook these the other night. My daughter was home, and this is one of her favorites. And the first batch of green beans always goes to soy sauce green beans. Always. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let it sit. We don't want to touch it. We want the beans on the bottom to brown some. Our beans have cooked for a couple of minutes. I can actually smell that they should be browning. You can smell it because of the soy sauce. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what we want. So we're going to toss it around a little more. Add another douse of soy sauce. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our heat down just a tad. To about medium. And then we're going to put a lid on it for a few minutes. That way we can steam our beans a little bit in the soy sauce and the oils. So our beans have been cooking right about 1 minute. And we want to stir them again. And another splash of soy sauce. Now, we're going to let them steam with the lid on for another minute. At this point, you can go on and turn your heat off. At this point, we're going to go on and pull them off the stove. Give them another good toss around. Oh, those look delicious. These look fantastic. Now, if you want to, doesn't really add a whole lot, just for decorational purposes, you could sprinkle with a little bit of peanut. These are the best thing I ever eat. These are good old, cold, doesn't matter. Leftovers, I save them for lunch the next day. I don't even heat them up. I just eat them. Delicious. Once again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.